Hi, I'm Eli Prinsen from hybridvocaltechnique.com. Just want to do a quick video on vibrato and vibrato concepts. Okay, there's a lot of great videos on the internet about vibrato, and vibrato is just the spinning sound on your voice, that little extra something that gives it a nice quality. Okay, some are fast, some are slow, some are a little ridiculous. Okay, but there's different styles of vibrato. Different artists use different styles of vibrato, and in a lot of cases, it's what gives them their special sound. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first of all, right and wrong. Okay, who's to say what's right and what's wrong? It's all a point of view, I think. Okay, so won't get into all that, but I will tell you that there are different types of vibrato that will give you different types of sounds. Okay, and also there's things to be careful of when you do different types of vibrato. One vibrato would be a release valve vibrato, which would have the tone going under. Okay, like that, where it goes under the pitch. Here's the pitch going and then underneath like that. Okay, and then there's another vibrato where it would oscillate above. It's not as natural. Okay, it goes above the pitch. I like to teach a combination of the two, a vibrato that goes above and slightly below the pitch. Okay, so then it's and that tends to sound make the sound better as far as pitch accuracy. Okay, now a lot of coaches are going to disagree with me on this, and that's fine. Everyone has their own way of doing things, and a lot of brilliant coaches out there have produced a lot of brilliant students. Okay, myself included. I'm not going to take anything away from HVT, but I'm not going to say that so-and-so's is wrong and mine's right. I'm just going to show you a different way to give you more options, okay? So, if I go above and below the pitch, it seems to tighten up the pitch accuracy. Now, going below the pitch is fine, and it does give you a bit more relief, okay? It makes things a little easier on you as a singer. But the one thing to look out for is if you're very tired, or if you don't have great monitoring, if there's not a high level of energy in your body, and you dip below or off of an even amount that goes under the pitch, if it starts varying, it will tend to make you sound flat. Okay, so it's it goes under. I'm talking, you get fatigued, it goes under the pitch, you're going to sound flat, okay? This is where training above and below, not just one above and sounding completely unnatural, but above and slightly below, will keep that note nice and clear and smooth and make it sound nice and natural. Okay? Now I have a very slow vibrato, I'll be honest with you. Okay, I can speed it up and I can slow it down because, and this is the moment where we say, okay, well, some people say vibrato cannot be taught. Some people say vibrato must be natural. Well, it can be taught. It's coming out of my body. It is natural. That's just the way I look at it. Okay, when I came to my voice teacher, I didn't even have a vibrato. I was supporting well, I was placing well, but when I tried to relax into it, things got kind of weird because my mind got all in the way and I never quite got it to oscillate the way I wanted to. Now, I was listening to a lot of heavy metal back in those days, and I still am, I'll be honest. But so I got used to listening to my favorite singers having more of a wide band vibrato, like Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, Michael Kiske from Halloween, Jeff Tate from Queensryche, and so on and so forth. Different types of vibrato that went very wide, like, yeah, that kind of a thing, all right? So I didn't have that. I had more of a Joe Elliott, Def Leppard, with no kind of vibrato on it. So my coach taught me a very old school way of finding the vibrato, finding the spinning sound by playing a little game. And within that game, I started learning how to get this spinning sound going. And at first it sounded really mechanical, okay? And I'm going to share it with you in just a second. It sounded really mechanical, but it was a way for a blockhead like me that had no vibrato to access something, okay? It gave me a concept. It gave me an idea of how to get this spinning sound in my voice. And then once I got that, I started to humanize what was more mechanical and make it feel smoother and come out smoother with practice. Okay? So, yes, it has to be supported well, has to be well placed, nice and resonant. Okay? And then once you get used to doing it, you can speed it up or slow it down as you choose to. Okay? And that's where we get into things like tempo vibrato, and I cover all of this in the Master Series program. Okay, so the game, the vibrato game, if you have no vibrato at all, okay, it's called AHA. So my coach told me this story. He said, you've lost your keys and you can't find them anywhere. So all of a sudden, you're looking all over the place, and then you see a pile of papers on the desk and you see a little bit of your keychain sticking out. And you're like, aha! Okay, so that sound, aha, goes above and below the pitch. Silly little game, right? So then we start adding. We play a little adding game. Now, most of us can all count to 10, okay? But for timing and to get your mind kind of connected with this, we would start with our hands, okay? So we would say, aha, and then we would add another ha to it. Aha, and then another. Aha, and then another. Aha, and then so on and so forth. Aha, okay? So now, instead of me just having this, yeah, kind of voice, I started to have something to build on. Aha, okay? Which sounds really mechanical when you do it like that. But then after a while of practicing, going from just doing it to 10 to doing it to 20 to taking a nice deep breath and doing it as long as you can, and doing it on different vowels and doing it on different scales and so on and so forth, all of a sudden starts to feel more natural. Then once you start adding that in with a good controlled stream of air, a nice airflow, so you're not shooting the air out when you're doing it, but you're reserving the air, supporting, placing, all of a sudden, boom, I had a vibrato. So then, instead of into the eyes of a stranger, with no vibrato, eyes of a stranger, all of a sudden I had vibrato. Yes, I was so happy, okay? So yes, vibrato is something that can be taught. There's different types, above the pitch, below the pitch, above and below the pitch, tremola, which is more like an old Judas Priest vibrato, like heading out to the highway, where it's more like jabbing. A chance before I fall. Okay, like that kind of a thing. Okay, or if it was sped up and it sounded like a sheep herder or something, or like the super old movie Snow White, where her vibrato is so fast it's almost comical, and she's like, okay, that's more of a tremola. It's very real fast. Okay, so you can speed up and slow down this vibrato and get into tempo vibrato. Okay, so this is real useful for guys that sing power metal and stuff like that. The beat is like this, or dun 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 dun, or whatever. And you're within the sentences or within the lyrics. It starts matching. Yeah! So you can control it and time it actually a lot of times with the tempo of the song to get a real accurate type of a thing going there, and really make your overdubs and your background vocals just kind of, you know, follow along with the same wide band or whatever vibrato that you have chosen for yourself. Okay, but when you can learn all of them and you sing different material, you can have a lot of fun with this and get really close to a lot of the sounds that you're trying to mimic or emulate or whatever. Okay, so long story short, yes, vibrato can be learned. There are ways to do it. I just showed you one. I hope you enjoyed it and have fun with it, and best of luck with your singing.